All right, welcome back to Mobile Mukbang. I'm Andrew.
Samuel.
And I'm Michael.
Today we are at Panera Bread, which is a little different considering all the other places we've gone to. Now, we've all got something a little different yet kind of the same, but Sam's gone a little more different than me and Mike here. Actually, Sam, what in the world did you get here? Because
These soba noodles, I've actually heard plenty of it from animes that I've been watching, so when I saw it on the menu, I was kind of curious. I was like, you know what? Came here for a bread bowl, but since you guys are getting those, I can go ahead and get something different.
Okay.
I also got a cheese Danish and some hot tea.
Interesting.
Don't mind the pile of sugars, if you can see them.
Yeah, there's a lot of sugar. So, I mean, I guess it's better than aspartame, but... So, Mike...
That's your choice of sugar.
Well, I'm not taking aspartame anymore, man. That stuff messes with you. No, Mike, what did you end up getting?
I got a broccoli cheddar bread bowl and a cherry Danish and iced coffee.
Not a bad selection. You know, I should have got the coffee now that I think about it, considering I just woke up recently.
Yeah,
and the
so
sun's
if he
already going
seems
down.
a little out of it, that's why.
I'll still be kind of lively. No,
I've been up since 4 a.m. and it's 7 p.m.
I know, but I just woke up. I'm a little groggy. Anywho.
You slept the whole time I was at work.
Yeah, and I'm just not waking up. Like, you're not groggy in the morning?
I'm not.
You're not human. You don't count. So, anywho, I got a bread bowl, too, only I got some chicken noodle soup in the bread bowl, which means I got to eat it kind of quick before the bread bowl gets really soggy and undesirable.
That's the best part of when it's soggy. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like it, not all that soggy.
I don't know. If it gets quote-unquote too soggy, I just start scooping it and scraping it with a spoon. But
I mean, I guess you could. So, wait, what soup did you get again?
Broccoli cheddar.
Broccoli cheddar. Interesting choice.
maybe this is technically considered a pasta. I'm assuming this is spinach on top.
I mean,
I'm not entirely sure.
get some on, like, your fork and show the camera, because, like, we were just talking about this off camera, but we don't really think it looks like a soup unless you consider, like, ramen kind of style, but...
It's
I mean,
chunky.
Chunky.
I had a piece of chicken in my tongue and it didn't let me move. Chunky chicken, like slices of it, nice big ones. I've got some noodles that have been soaking and stewing. There's a handful of veggies, not too many. And a solid inch of liquid on the bottom of the bowl.
Is it soy sauce or?
I don't know. I will find out when I get down to it. Actually, no, I won't, because I don't know what soy sauce actually tastes like.
How do you not know what soy sauce
We've been
is?
to so many Asian restaurants.
Yeah, I don't like it. I tried it ages ago, and I didn't like it, so I've never put it on stuff since. But something in the back of my head is telling me it's soy sauce, so probably.
This is efficient.
I mean, if it works, it works.
I mean, at the end of the day, if the bread bowl is the bowl, then...
And the bread bowl is the spoon.
I mean... I guess,
More of a
technically you
sponge.
could. I'm all out of the noodles, so here comes the fun part. Eating the bowl.
So the weird part about this so far is, for the audience's reference, I am not a spicy food person at all. However, for the past week, I have had no issues with any level of spicy food, including wasabi. I literally put it directly on my tongue and had no issues. However, this stuff has a kick somehow, so either I'm losing my non-spicy touch thingy, or this stuff's got a kick to it.
Well, to be fair, we were at Osaka, and I think what they did is it's like some sort of non-spicy version of wasabi, because maybe most people can't really handle the spicy spiciness of that, and maybe they just made it appeal to more Western cultured people.
Well, I mean, I had this sushi that was there that was labeled as spicy too, and had no issue.
Well, so did I, and I was able to handle it. And now, I'm extremely sensitive to spice. Black pepper is too much for me most times, and yet I was able to handle this without much of a problem at all. So I think maybe they just went down on the spiciness.
Who knows?
It's carbolicious. All the carbs.
So it takes a 5-minute time out for that bad fun.
It is good though.
I'm enjoying my meal.
I think this is like the first fast casual we went to.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, it's just a whole lot of the same, really. It's all bread, but, you know, sometimes... Oop, sorry. Camera's shifting a little bit. Our bad.
Damn it, Andrew.
I'm not the one leaning on the table moving the cable.
Called
Dang
you
it,
out,
Mike.
bro. Called you out,
Look,
bro.
I'm leaning on the table. It is not moving.
Now watch, we go and watch it. And it's
Oh,
like,
yeah. You all know it was him. You
Yep.
saw it.
Just throw down in the comments your complaints. We'll make sure that he reads them.
I'll just send him a text and tell him we're in the middle or something. But now, one thing I don't get is why is it always a sourdough bread? Couldn't they do it with a different kind of bread too? Or does it have to be sourdough?
It's probably got something to do with the density of the bread. Because I know with like just regular old loaf bread, white bread that you can get, sometimes the gas bubbles that form in bread can get large enough to create massive gaping holes in areas, and that wouldn't be great for a bread bowl.
But you got a point
Actually, speaking of that, I once bought a loaf of bread, uncut, and it was a white loaf. Cut it, and the whole inside of it is hollow. It was like,
there. What?
You got denied.
You got a bad piece of bread.
I'm like, oh, this is
No
sad.
bread for you and your bread.
I will say this though, Panera has nailed the fast casual business model, and they've been doing it a lot longer than other restaurants do. Like Chipotle is trying to do that fast casual thing. Chipotle keeps having problems though with that salmonella.
I mean, this last salmonella trip was just Easter eggs, so there's only so much you can say there.
That is true.
Yep.
The egg recall was huge.
I mean, when it hits an Easter season,
Still, some days you just crave bread, you know. Also, speaking of when we were just talking about aspartame, apparently, and I properly looked this up. Hold on.
you'll have people saying otherwise.
Well, apparently aspartame can cause cravings for carbs, which is interesting. But
Hey, look, sounds like your life.
cravings for carbs? That's my life? What?
Well, the sugar you like is aspartame, so.
I never said that's the sugar I like. In fact, I'm a bit. I knew it was a bad idea to get that little bit anyway. That's the first time I've had like aspartame in a while. Normally, I have high fructose corn syrup. It's not that great. I'm thinking about just going back to making my own sweet tea with just regular sugar.
Honestly, the best thing I've found for it is simple syrup. It's not difficult to make at all, but it makes the tea so much better.
Well, it's a really highly concentrated syrup.
It's sugar water,
Oh. Is it just sugar water?
basically.
So-
Are you familiar with how to make brine water?
And that's a lot of salt.
Yeah, think of the same concept except with sugar.
Dear God.
You want to tell them about your nectar?
I'm trying not to go on the radar with that type of stuff. Although I suppose I can say at least that I'm more or less a humanoid insect for the amount of sugar I ingest.
It is ungodly, the amount he takes in.
Although I'm not as bad as I used to be.
You should hear the story. Some of the stories.
It's, just... It's got to be regular sugar. He doesn't like sweeteners, like aspartame or high fructose or sucrose.
Beyond that, I actually prefer beet sugar over cane sugar. And the fact that I can tell the difference, I'm actually one of the few people who I've met that can. So,
Well, of course you are. It's insane. I don't know. When did you start eating so much sugar? And how are you not diabetic? Like, that is the big question. It's like, you taken, like, if one diabetic person had 1 cup of whatever the heck you drink, they would die immediately.
as for when I started, let's see here, that was about when I left Wendy's, and that was maybe, give or take, 8 years ago.
So for 8 years, I mean, have you ever gone a day without that much sugar? Or sugar in general?
I mean, obviously, most foods we have nowadays have at least high fructose corn syrup. So it's kind of hard to avoid all sugar. But, yeah, there's been some days where I've gone without.
And did you just crash?
No, I've got enough sugar in my system for reserves.
God dang. Like, your emergency medical kit would contain just like one gigantic GFS bag of sugar.
I mean, the only thing in my medical kit is a little bit of candy, gauze, and medical tape. And a
Medical
scalpel.
tape with sugar on it.
No, it's regular medical tape.
With sugar on it. Dude. It's crazy how much you have, but at the same time, at least it... I mean, if you did the same thing with, like, aspartame, you would have serious problems.
It's just so dry.
Comparatively, yeah, this top part of the bread loaf.
That's usually my one problem with Panera bread. Once you get through the soup or whatever bread you're left with is just dry and stale. It's not necessarily bad in flavor and everything else, but you can tell it's been out all day.
You know, a lot of the places we go to seem to involve bread, now that I think about it.
Bread's a fairly staple item in America.
Yeah, the amber waves of grain.
Yeah?
Although I don't think I've ever seen a purple mountain.
I think that one's more symbolic, as purple is the color of royalty.
Yeah, but didn't America get formed to get away from royalty? The Purple Mountain's Majesty.
I mean, we still have the purple heart.
Maybe he was colorblind. You know, I mean, I'm sure that...
drunk. Because technically our national anthem has the tune of a bar shanty.
Really?
Yeah. The tune that it uses is actually from a bar shanty. Drinking song.
Surprise Ireland doesn't have that.
Who says they don't?
I mean, you got a point. I don't know the Irish national anthem.
Neither do I. Talk to this
Mike,
guy.
Mike, what's the Irish national anthem?
Throwing you on the spot.
Oh, so he Googles it. Oh, he goes to Google it. Okay, Mr. Irish Pride over here. Doesn't.
Hey, you know what? I have it rolled up in my dresser, but I'm not actually from Ireland.
You have a song rolled up in your dresser?
For comfort. The Purple Mountain.
The soldier song.
But is it based on a bar shanty?
I don't know.
Why not?
So wait. Well, you know what? We just got to Google it. Mike, Google what he's talking about when he says Purple Mountain's Majesty. Because I don't know what that means. I don't think I've ever seen a purple mountain. I mean, that's a pretty unnatural color, purple.
Not all. Blue is the hard color to make in nature. Purple's not so bad.
I have to beg to differ.
I literally watched a documentary on how blue is actually one of the hardest colors for nature to synthesize.
Purple is right up there, though.
I mean, it is half blue.
I mean, despite the fact you're wearing purple hair, you have purple hair, but...
Hey, it's natural. What can I say?
Well, it doesn't have such a good background to it.
I mean, that's usually the case.
So...
Basically, it was the founder of the IRA.
Oh, you're still in Ireland.
Yes.
I got to Purple Mountains because I figured that might happen. He's referring to a precise set of mountains that's in Colorado.
What, the Colorado Rockies or something?
Something peak. But... Hey, was I even part of America when he made that song?
I don't know. When did that song come out?
Yeah, it refers to the shade of the Pikes Peak in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Wait, Pikes Peak. Hold on. Isn't that a raceway? That's been a racetrack for a long time now.
Mm-hmm.
That's been a mountain climb racetrack for so long. Pikes Peak. I know that. I know that peak. There's no purple there. I've never seen purple at Pikes Peak. I mean, granted, the song was, what, a few hundred years old now?
Yeah. 1890 something.
1890 something. I mean, when was the Louisiana Purchase? 1890 something. 1776 when declared independence. It was a number of years after that. I mean, I think Colorado is part of the Louisiana Purchase, isn't it?
And not sure, but of course, if we're wrong on any of this information, feel free to correct us. We are doing 5-second Google searches for this information.
Yeah, I mean, not even Wikipedia.
I mean, technically one of them was a Wikipedia, but it was the little Google expert of
Well, on top of this, it's not like we're historians and we're just
Mine
eating
was
bread.
through Wikipedia for Ireland.
Well, we're obviously not historians, and we're obviously...
focused on the future. Thank you very much.
It's true.
If my grandfather was still alive, he'd tell me all of this.
No, because he wouldn't be here. What? What?
Yeah, I don't know how much your grandfather would like to guest host on Mobile Mukbang.
It would make for an interesting episode, though.
Having your grandfather on would be interesting.
Oh my gosh. He would steal the show. He would never stop talking.
And so the same with my grandfather.
Yeah, but at least we'd be able to understand mine.
Shut up.
Since obviously the audience will not understand per se, his grandfather has a very strong accent due to the fact that he actually came from Ireland. Ireland? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas my grandfather, born and raised in America, as was his grandparents, then
Behind.
down.
Stop moving the cable.
The cable's leaning on you, isn't it?
Sorry, it was his fault. Every time you put your hands on the table and move it up and down, you're shimmying the cable.
Only the slightest, though.
That's all it takes.
I know. Every raindrop raises the sea.
See, his family came from Ireland, mine came from Belize. And yet, you can still understand my family.
In theory, mine probably came from space, but I don't actually have any proof of that.
Came from space. I mean, the sad thing is I can believe it.
There's a piece of meat in here that I cannot get. I'm upset by this. Hey, I got it. I have been deceived. It's a mushroom.
Well, hold on. There is a mushroom that is known as the chicken of the forest. Because apparently it tastes just like chicken.
It's still not meat.
I know. But,
Wasn't
hey,
that
if Mother Nature can grow chicken from the ground, I'm all for it.
I mean, we can grow chicken now, too. We're focusing on pork for some reason, but still, we can do it.
I do like chicken. As they come, if any of you have been following us, obviously I like chicken. I always go for the chicken. Heck, I even got chicken noodle soup.
Indeed, indeed. Do you ever grab your dessert?
Hmm?
Do you ever grab your dessert?
No.
You have a dessert, good sir.
Good heavens.
Get your dessert. You can't finish your meal without it, good sir.
Is this the thing I go up there with for dessert?
Talk to Courtney. She was the one who took the order. Blonde girl. Shout out to Courtney. She dealt with me and myself, Mike. Me and myself, yeah. She dealt with me. I mean,
She dealt with me, myself, and I?
Double cheeks on your own soda.
Go to the fountain, get your own soda. There's your soda.
That's not the soda I want.
Too bad. You never specified what soda. If you said Jinx, you owe me a Coke, that would have been different. You said soda, there's your soda. Ooh, it's a crunchy baguette.
Yeah, I don't like crunchy. That's why I soaked mine in the juices. Yeah,
Mike!
Stop using the table. You see us leaning on the table? Follow some etiquette, young man.
Yeah.
As
You're
I-
leaning against a wall.
Actually, I'm against the chair.
And the wall.
I'm touching the wall. There's a difference.
All right, I'll be
You
right
got
back.
a fat man on the bench.
I mean, that's where it belongs, right?
I mean, fat and happy. So I bring this up there and say, go to Courtney and say I want a dessert.
Bakery item, but yeah.
Bakery item. I'll be right back.
Why are you threatening us, man? Fair enough.
Thief, thief, thief.
Unless you can help him. He's after a bakery item. We paid for it earlier, but we didn't grab it. Courtney knows about it. Yeah, you're talking to people.
This is actually really good. It's basically the cheese Danish you had with some cherries on it.
Yeah. Like, I had no issue with the cheese Danish by any means. It was just dry. And that's literally the bread, not the entirety of the Danish. Is it viscous enough for you? Live in a weird world. I submit to you that computers and AI are demons. My reasoning is you can trap them with the salt circle.
What?
Let me get back to it. So you haven't heard this? It's been out for a little while. Obviously, you can't read it from your current location, but our autonomous vehicles keep an eye out for various...
Well, they were extra nice, and they gave me
What?
2.
How?
Because I'm awesome, that's how.
I mean, he's got a freebie comment, so I guess they just didn't like all the jokes I cracked.
Anything to get this man away from me. The dad jokes are real. It's too corny.
That is
It's too corny.
But yeah, as I was saying before I was interrupted, they figured on how to use salt circles to effectively
Sam, one half?
to block autonomous vehicles from proceeding by surrounding it in symbols that mean that it cannot pass or is not allowed to go in a certain way. By recognizing this symbol, it knows that it cannot go that way, and because it is surrounded, it is now trapped.
Technology.
Yeah! I was telling Mike that I submit to him that AI and similar such things are actually demons in disguise because he can trap them with salt circles.
That's hilarious.
You can trap them in a bunch of different ways. It's kind of funny.
Oh, yeah.
What about it?
Cherry don't want to come off.
I'm going to leave that comment to myself.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways that could have gone, but that wouldn't be family friendly.
Yeah, pretty much. Is it family friendly to mention that we could say something not family friendly?
I mean, cartoons do it all the time.
No, they just say it and don't actually make any point it out.
Like Family Guy.
Family Guy is not a family friendly.
Worst example ever. You fail, go home.
I mean, he has to eventually, but preferably after dropping us off.
That was... No, I'm talking like
Looney Tunes.
Powerpuff Girls, for instance.
Powerpuff Girls, Looney Tunes.
There was an episode where the mayor said, like, I can't afford that anymore. I'm not a sugar daddy. Or I can't afford that I'm not a sugar daddy anymore. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, some of those shows have... But like,
Johnny Bravo. Oh,
yeah. Nah, I was going after that one with the teenage spies.
Totally Spies?
Yeah, that one. I never realized till I was an adult how that's a fetish show. They literally go through every fetish ever on low-key terms. It's hysterical.
I mean, kids shows are messed up, man.
SpongeBob.
Oh, no,
Ed and Eddie.
yeah, there's also... Dude, that one... I forget which Ed it was, but I think it was Eddie. But he was just straight up abused and neglected by his parents. Like, they literally took the staircase out of the basement so he could, when he was grounded.
Oh yeah, it was Ed.
Yeah. Was it Ed?
Yeah, Ed, the slow one. Yeah, I remember one time Ed said, "Shush, my yeast is rising." Like, what? I mean, we're in a bread place, so I'm sure there's yeast somewhere that's rising. But I'm like, what? Your yeast? And why do we need to be quiet for that?
Who knows? Maybe he's making a souffle. I'm sure that's it. Actually, I found out Digimon had a real bad one between Ty and his sister.
Whoa.
Yeah, they cut an entire episode and cut one in half just to get it out of the American version. Yeah. There was some inappropriate feelings there.
That is...
Well then.
Don't know how to feel
If it makes
about that being in the show. Granted, I never really watched Digimon.
If it makes you feel any better, the guy who directed said episodes only directed like 3.
Gee, I wonder why. The review board is like, hey, guys, what the heck is this? You know this is a kid's show, right?
I thought it was a show about kids, not for kids.
Sounds like a show tailored for Michael Jackson. What, too soon?
I mean, he's not dead. He just went home. Joined Elvis.
According to a Facebook article that this guy posted, Elvis was just found dead under an underpass like a year ago. Because he was hiding in the Secret Service's protection, or, witness protection. I'm like, no. Such clickbait, such garbage. He died on the toilet, honorably.
Honorably. That's a strong word.
You know, I could see you dying on the toilet.
But why are we going there?
Because you had to push a little too hard one time.
No, it's just going to be up there for a long time, and we think, geez, how long is it going to be? And it was just like 2 days later, like, dude, you need to get off.
Go home. I need to pee.
And we just assume, based on the smell, that he's just having a hard time.
And 3 weeks later, we're just like, okay, man, I'm coming in. Get your pants on. And we find a rotting corpse.
It's like, dude, you look terrible. Go home.
Oh my.
All the aneurysms.
You know, I've only experienced an aneurysm once. And it was through someone else's stupidity. And it wasn't Jimbo.
Jeff?
No. Nicest guy ever. I will refrain from using his name. But I'll call him C for the purposes of this. And he worked at Taco Bell with me for several months. I can't quite remember the entire length, but for this story's time frame, he had been there for about 2 months. Due to how busy we were and the lack of ability to get him trained on proper positions, he spent most of the time being a gopher. We need something? Hey, C, go grab this from XYZ location and bring it to me. Prep it if necessary. So he had to have made tons of beans and rice. Very simple. Add water, add the sauce mix appropriate, and stir, basically. Now, one of these days, I asked for a spatula. Something he needed to use every time he made beans and rice. He leaves me to go get the spatula, which should have been no more than 8 feet, including the turns he had to make. 5 feet max if it's a straight shot. But it wasn't. He returns about 10 minutes later and asks me, "What's a spatula?" Now, I'm in the middle of making orders. I've run out of something. That's why I needed the spatula. And he comes to me with this. Nicest guy ever. Absolute sweetheart. Made a bag of bricks look smart.
Well, at least it wasn't like SpongeBob's first episode, where he needed a hydrodynamic spatula with turbo drive.
I mean, I could see that being a challenge to find. Still, just goofy.
Well, here's the thing about bread. It fills you up.
Does it?
For me, it does.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Then why doesn't a pizza fill me up? It's half bread.
Half bread.
But I'm not even half full after a pizza. Imagine if there was actually a food that so long as you had a single serving would actually fill you up. Like it was some chemical trick on the body, it just told your body you were full.
I'm pretty sure we'll eventually end up at that point.
Food that expands in your stomach.
Why are we squishing bread?
Oh, excuse me.
Nope.
You are not excused. That is unacceptable.
You can excuse yourself from the table. That's cool. I never checked. Let me see that real quick. Nope. There's some tin or something.
Well, considering we're all done with like the main courses of everything, should we give our final synopsis? You shyster, you know not what you've done.
What do I?
Soon the yellow cruises of darkness will descend upon the land and devour everything in sight.
In other words, he's pooping in your toilet tonight.
Oh, God. Well, should we just give our final synopsis on how we feel about the food? I mean, we finished the main meals and everything. We're just kind of sitting here.
Rambling?
Yeah.
Rambling.
So I had the sourdough bread bowl with the chicken noodle soup. I mean, as far as chicken noodle soups go, not bad. Pretty good. I mean, it's obviously not Campbell's chicken noodle, which is a little different, but for the situation, the noodles and everything were just right. Sufficiently warm. It wasn't like scalding hot or too cold or lukewarm, so it was about right. And then the bread bowl itself, I mean, it's a good bread bowl. I mean, the sourdough bread was good, and then the little cinnamon thing that they gave us, and they actually gave us two.
What made it better was the supplement was free.
Yeah, and when it's free, it feels that much better. But, overall, I'd say it was good. I mean, is it a place I'd come back to regularly? Probably not, but it's definitely a place you would go if you're in the mood and you want a fast casual kind of situation. But, sticking with that theme, Mike, how did you feel about what you got? Because you got a little bit of a different soup than I did.
You know what? Their cheddar broccoli, it's really good. Sometimes, if you get lucky, you actually get cheddar chunks. But you had like full pieces of broccoli and all that, and you know what? That alone makes it really good.
I never got the idea of eating trees. Like, I don't care that they're mineralized, they're still trees.
It's not a bonsai.
So one of the things that amazed me is the cherry sauce they use.
Is it cherry sauce in there?
No,
Not the Danish.
the Danish.
Oh.
I literally put it completely vertical.
Did you try upside down?
Yes. Well, sort of.
I mean, it's
The
baked.
cherries would not fall off.
I mean,
No, it's
not baked in there?
no, it was put on top.
Maybe it's solidified. It's in place? I don't know. All right.
Basically, all it was cheese Danish with cherry and the cherry sauce throw on top.
Okay, then. Well, that's interesting. I mean, I guess it's not necessarily all that fresh if that's the case, but...
I mean, fast casuals only got so much going for fresh.
Well, if you want the freshest time for a Panera, you have to come in like in the morning.
Yeah.
There's probably a time in between as well.
They do
when have to
actually make the
refresh.
bread
Yeah.
at night, during the night shift.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying, like, it wouldn't surprise me if there's a time when, like, on busier stores, if they have to refresh at some point.
All right. Well, anywho, Sam, you were the one of us that got something completely different.
Yeah, the soba noodles were pretty good. They started off a little bit on the hot side, so I had to wait a second before I could really dig in, but that's not really a complaint, just a comment. Like I mentioned, it did have a little bit of a kick, which surprised me for the moment, but it wasn't too powerful or all that bad. It was just... It wasn't... Like, it was a spice kick, but it wasn't a spicy kick, if that makes sense. So that might have been part of why.
So not a ton of capsaicin.
No, the other type of spice. But it had a very good amount of chicken in it. I was quite happy with that. Maybe even an entire breast, I'm not entirely sure. Decent number of noodles. Actually a little shy on it, but I'm not going to be complaining about shy on noodles. And something where it has a protein. Pretty good overall. Like I mentioned, the Danish was a little dry, and the fact that the other extra piece of bread I had was so hard and crunchy was annoying, but part of that's just the fact that I'm missing my teeth, so I can't chew the way I need to right now.
Okay. So, I guess the last thing to do is really quick talk about the drinks.
Yeah, I mentioned I had hot tea. More precisely, I had the orange mango flavor or something like that. It's something orange. I always go for a citrus tea when they have the option.
There are a lot of options for tea here.
D6.
This particular one's a little shy on the options for tea, but yes, generally Panera Bread has a ton of options.
Yeah. It is.
If it was me though, I probably would have gone for probably the Earl.
Oh,
That's
Earl
fair.
Grey tea?
Yeah, Earl Grey.
Well, I'll tell you what I did. I did go for a tea, but I went with the brisk iced tea with the raspberry flavoring. So,
Actually, a quick note on teas. A lot of people think that there's not too much difference. A lot of our foreign friends here, and I'm not entirely sure, are probably going to laugh at me, but a lot of Americans, at the very least, don't realize what the differences are between like black teas, white teas, green teas, and such. But there's very much of a difference. Some of them are better for the morning, kind of like a coffee. They have a higher level of caffeine and such, or other energy, other things that help you wake up.
And the flavor is drastically different. I used to make iced tea or sweet tea out of different types of teas, and I made the drastic mistake of mixing Earl Grey, black, oolong, and green into the same tea to see how it would be. It was awful. I ended up having to dump the whole thing. I'm like, oh no. No, this isn't right. This is wrong on so many levels. What have I done?
I think I tasted that. To me, it tasted alright.
Oh, no.
And of course, we also have to mention real quick, as far as teas go, I personally like mine very strong, so I let it steep for an extremely long time at a decent temperature. And after it steeps a little bit, I'll usually go ahead and pat it with either my spoon or my stir stick a little bit to get the last little bit of flavor out of this thing.
I'm the same
Then
way.
I add my sugars and stuff.
Oh yeah, strong black tea is what I use for my sweet tea now.
I usually, when I drink tea, black, no sugar.
I mean, to me, no sugar for too long is a death sentence, but...
Yeah, you go into some sort of shock. I can see it now. Bandit, a purple-haired bandit steals 100-pound bags of GFS sugar.
They come in 25-pound boxes, good sir.
Why do you have to correct them?
Well,
I mean, I could also tell you they're about $12.50.
one day all the sugar is gone.
Although the sugar, yeah. But the tea I usually have is Lipton black tea.
I'm sorry.
I mean, to be fair, that's what I used to.
There's nothing actually around. I just want to make fun of them.
All right.
With
So,
Lipton, though, you get 1,000 bags for like.
Oh, yeah. It's a great economy deal.
yeah. So, but you got a coffee, didn't you?
Yeah, iced coffee.
Yeah, you said it was weird or interesting at the beginning before we started recording. What's that about?
You know what? It's like you could tell it sat for a while. It wasn't really that strong.
Okay. Well, and then for me, I already said what I had. I had brisk iced tea, which you can get anywhere. It's just the most generic, like, soda fountain iced tea you can get.
I wonder if you
Where
can
there's
actually
actual
get it anywhere.
iced tea over there.
I'll try some. I just wanted to get something to come back and start eating before the bread bowl would get soggy.
Quick audience question. Again, I don't know where any of you pertain from. However, if you are from outside the U.S., let us know. Is brisk actually just as common across the globe as it is here in America?
That is a good question.
I feel like some places would maybe even outright ban it. I could see China, Japan, and England all doing that.
Why?
England, yeah.
Because they're all huge tea places.
I could also kind of see France. France banned ketchup in schools
Yeah, I saw that.
because it ruins the prepared food. But anywho, I think that's about where we should end this episode. So, despite the facts that our cups may be empty, our stomachs are full. And to that, I say cheers.
Mine's not empty. It has a tea bag in it.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.